Hey, casual crypto investor family. It is the casual crypto investor, and I am back with another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the news that has shocked the crypto X space, Twitter space, social media, all this kind of stuff. I actually heard about it yesterday afternoon, and I kind of wanted to let it kind of simmer down a little bit because I wanted to make sure if it was true. Pardon my French, but in this crypto space, you see so many shit articles about this is happening and this is happening and this one's going to $1 million and all crypto is going to $1 million and all this kind of stuff. And I wanted to wait and kind of let the seas calm a little bit, so that way I could bring you the most accurate information in regards to this. So if you've been living under a rock, if you are did maybe just didn't hop on social media yesterday or anything like that, one of the things that transpired is that a news article broke that Ripple was looking to acquire USDC, which would be absolutely huge if that transaction took place. And this is just coming off the heels of Ripple buying Hidden Roads for 1.25 billion dollars, if I'm not mistaken. And, I just think that it would be another aggressive play if Ripple in somehow, some way, shape, or form was able to pull that off. But we're going to dive into an article that I got from Forbes talking about the whole situation, breaking it down. And so I wanted to share this content with you. If you can, make sure you definitely give me a subscribe and like the video. I'm a baby channel on YouTube right now. So I'm on the road to 500 followers and I'm over halfway there. So I appreciate everyone that's been rocking with me. And we're going to get into it. So before we do, let's take a look at the overall crypto market. So happy to see that we're above. I don't know, just mentally, I just like when we're above a $3 trillion market cap. I don't know what it is. I remember when we were at, the 1 trillion, we could barely, get over 2 trillion. Now we're sitting at over $3 trillion right now. Overall, we are up almost 3% currently right now at 2.84%. So I'm super, super excited about that. Bitcoin is sitting at 96,000. Ethereum has had an amazing run, up $1,800 right now. XRP too as well did retrace a little bit, but sitting at over $2.20. So looks like the market is trying to come back a little bit. And I think last time I checked the stock market is up significantly. I think over 300 points or so. So things are looking good. So I'm happy about that. Also, quick shameless plug. Feel free to follow me on X. You can follow me there. Sometimes it's easier for me to tweet than it is for me to make a video. And so I was tweeting about it yesterday on there, but feel free to follow me on there if you want to stay updated in regards to what's going on with the casual crypto investor community, as well as what's going on in the overall crypto space. All right, so let's dive into this article, okay? It says, why Ripple's $5 billion offer to Circle was more than a power play. And it also breaks down why Circle basically, said no. Okay. And so I think it's something to be mindful of, but let's dive into it. So it says right here, Ripple made an offer for Circle. You heard that right. The stablecoin space just had a headline moment, and no, this wasn't your typical acquisition rumor. Okay. All right. In late 2024, it quietly launched RLUSD, as we all know, the stablecoin, which has done, fairly well considering it being out less than a year. Currently, right now, it's sitting at a market cap of $316 million, which is crazy because I remember we were just at 100 something million. And so it's great to see that we're just growing exponentially, right? Moving on, so that's a solid start. But when you're competing against Circle USD, which holds a commanding 61.7 billion in market cap, obviously that doesn't compare, right? Okay, there's the big leagues, and then there's the high school leagues, right? or maybe little league, right? And so right now, realistically, RLUSD is in a little league compared to what the market cap of what Circle is in. All right. Moving on, this bid follows, as I just mentioned, Ripple's 1.25 billion acquisition of Hidden Road, a prime brokerage platform that signaled its intention to go beyond crypto rails and embed itself deeper into traditional financial infrastructure. Owning Circle would have given Ripple an instant seat at the table in the global stablecoin community. So I think it just would have, rocket shipped Ripple's play in regards to the stablecoin market. Moving on, why Circle might have said yes. Okay, so these are some reasons why they would have said yes. Okay, so from Circle's perspective, a $5 billion offer certainly turned heads, and for good reason. An injection of this scale would dramatically accelerate its global footprint. So obviously this would, propel it to new opportunities, right? And it can hopefully obviously expand. The additional capital could fuel deeper research and development, broaden Circle's partnerships, and speed up global expansion, especially in markets where infrastructure and access are still forming. Moving on, it says there was also real potential in the synergy because Ripple brings deep experience navigating complex global regulations. As we know, Ripple was able to grow during a lawsuit, so it was growing offshores in various Asian countries all over the world. Okay. And so it's been able to navigate even in Dubai too, as well, and a lot of the Middle Eastern countries too. And so it's been able to seamlessly navigate those foreign waters, so to speak. So in regards to the complex global regulations, alongside a battle-tested blockchain network, Circle, on the other hand, has fine-tuned stablecoin operation at scale. Bringing the two together might have sparked the creation of entirely new financial product, tokenized payment systems, cross-border settlement innovations, and hybrid DeFi and TradFi solutions. Okay. Ripple has a well-established international footprint. Its network reaches far beyond, obviously, U.S. borders, as I mentioned, across Asia, Latin America, Europe. Ripple says that 90% of the company's business is conducted outside of the U.S., which is unfortunate, but it's a reality. And I understand why Ripple had to do that. They had to look outside of the U.S. because the U.S. was suing them, basically. But now I think, obviously Ripple's in a much better space, but this partnership, I think, could have just been insane. The only other thing I was also thinking about when I was coming across this news and looking at some various articles too as well, is that if Ripple did this, the issue I think that Ripple would eventually maybe have to address, and I could just already hear people saying monopoly, monopoly, monopoly. They're forming a monopoly. Um, I think that's something that Ripple needs to be mindful of. I'm sure they already are. I'm sure their legal department already is. I mean, obviously they're a lot smarter than me when it comes to legal stuff. But I think it's also something to be mindful of. Okay. But why did Circle say no? I think this is really a good, I think you did a good job of breaking it down of why why Circle would say no to this, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Acquisition, right? Okay. So moving on here, it says here that with USDC sitting at 61.7 billion market cap, and Circle's IPO plans were underway. The offer may have felt more opportunistic than generous. Circle is not a company in search of an exit. It's building towards a public future. A $5 billion acquisition may have undervalued not just its financials, but also its strategic importance in the evolving digital dollar landscape. As we know, also too, is if you didn't know, Circle is using Stellar's network. So I'm not sure how that would also have worked too as well, but just something to be mindful of. Second, Circle has a clear vision, and merging with the direct competitor could have created friction. While Ripple and Circle both operate in the stablecoin space, their approaches, governance models, and market strategies differ. An acquisition would likely lead to a realignment of priorities, potentially diluting Circle's mission-driven and open financial system approach. Lastly, here it says that the regulatory angle can't be ignored. A merger of two heavyweights like that, like as I mentioned, in the crypto ecosystem, would trigger heightened scrutiny from global regulators, especially in the current climate where lawmakers are actively defining digital asset frameworks. Such a move could lead to significant operational slowdowns, legal complexity, and possibly even resistance from certain jurisdictions. Obviously, as I mentioned, right? That's a huge one, and especially after just coming out of a lawsuit with Ripple. You don't want to go right back into the lion's den, so to speak, right? What does Circle's decision mean for the market and stablecoins? So what does this all mean? So it says here, Circle's decision to reject the offer isn't just a story about price. It's a signal of conviction. It tells us that Circle believes its standalone strategy is stronger than a fast track acquisition as it pushes ahead towards its IPO. Circle is positioning USDC as a global standard for dollar-backed stablecoins. I apologize for that. I had a phone call that I definitely needed to take. Sorry about that. But moving on, what does this Circle's decision mean for the market and stablecoins? So let's dive into that, because I really think that's an important thing that we need to be mindful of. So it says Circle's decision to reject the offer isn't just a story about price. It's a signal of conviction. It tells us that Circle believes its standalone strategy is stronger than a fast track acquisition. As it pushes ahead towards its IPO, Circle is positioning USDC as a global standard for dollar-backed stablecoins, doubling down on its reputation for transparency, compliance, as well as innovation. Ripple, meanwhile, is unlikely to walk away quietly. RLUSD may be early in its life cycle, but Ripple's move suggests a long-term strategy aimed at fusing blockchain infrastructure with traditional finance, whether through additional acquisitions, deeper ecosystem investments, or policy partnerships. Ripple is playing the long game and playing to win. Just as a reminder too, as well, Hidden Roads, which is one of the brokerages that they recently purchased about a month or so ago, moves $3 trillion. Okay. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that impacts RLUSD as well as XRP too as well. But it's just something that we need to keep in the back of our minds. Moving on here, it says we're witnessing the early chess moves of a much larger in-game. Stablecoins aren't just crypto tools. They are fast becoming the digital plumbing for global money movement. Whoever controls the standard access and integration points will help shape the future of cross-border payments, institutional DeFi, and programmable finance. I think that's I agree with that 100%. In my opinion, I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, definitely let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. But in my opinion, I feel like, and this is I'm just using an analogy when I'm saying this, but I feel that Ripple is kind of similar to Tesla. What I mean by that is that if you own a Tesla, I own a Tesla, and one of the advantages of it, especially if you're a fan of EV vehicles and all that kind of stuff, and one of the things that I was talking to a cousin of mine who also, she owns an EV vehicle, and her EV car. And, one thing that she hated about it, she has a hybrid actually. So she has gas and she can charge too as well. And one of the things she hated is, like, when she wanted to use the charge, okay, it was hard for her to find a third party charging station. Okay. And part of the problem is because with Tesla has the charging infrastructure to support individuals who are looking to do things like road trips or travel a little bit beyond their, normal daily, traffic pattern, right? Most people, they, in their hometown, they maybe go to the store, they go drop their kids off to school, they go to church, they go to shopping and, whatever, go to the movies, whatever, dinner, etc. But when you're looking to do a road trip, the cool thing with Teslas is that they have tons of charging stations and really, pretty decent areas for the most part. And, I feel confident that I ever wanted to go beyond wherever, go beyond, the store or getting groceries or whatever. I feel confident that I would be able to find the charging stations because Tesla has done a good job of laying the rails. And I feel it's the same way with Ripple. Okay. Moving on and kind of wrapping up here. It's basically saying it's a big play, bigger than Circle and Ripple. And so it says this moment is bigger than just Ripple and Circle. It reflects the maturing of the stablecoin ecosystem and the blurring lines between crypto native innovation and institutional adoption. It also highlights how important strategic alignment is when legacy finance meets blockchain. Wrapping up here, it also says that either way, the stablecoin race is far from over, and the real winners will be the ones who can innovate boldly while staying resilient enough to navigate regulation, market volatility, and global demand. So, guys, let me know what your comments, what you think about this. Are you pro Ripple buying Circle? Are you glad that it didn't happen? Do you think it will happen in the future? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this content, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. I really appreciate every single one of you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.